These Chinese robots were called a piece of metal garbage just last year, and today they can throw kung fu kicks, outpace humans in a marathon, and do factory work with absolute precision. Let's debunk this one-year high jump, and now it's rattling analysts, competitors, and above all, Tesla itself. The one-year turnaround. China's Spring Festival Gala is perhaps the most watched TV broadcast on the planet, and this year, it became a huge robotics showcase. Humanoid robots from several Chinese startups performed kung fu routines, choreographed group dances, and elaborate gymnastic displays live in front of the audience, all broadcasted in real time with zero editing tricks to hide any mistakes. What's crazy is that they weren't even controlled by any human. 12 months earlier, at the exact same event, the story was completely different. The 2025 gala featured earlier versions of these robots attempting a simple folk dance while twirling handkerchiefs. If we see the footage, they were wobbly, stiff, and clearly still in an early development stage. They were moving with a jerky, overreacted motion that immediately turned off the viewers and signaled a machine that was still learning how to balance its own weight. Around that same period, a Beijing robot marathon made international headlines, but for the wrong reasons. It stumbled, crashed, and had a lot of mechanical breakdowns captured on video, which was circulated as proof that humanoid robots still had a long way to go before resembling real-world capability. Clips from that marathon spread across social media, specifically because they were funny. Robots face-planting on pavement, operators scrambling to catch failing units, and robots just falling flat while trying to jog in the simplest way possible. But then came 2026, just 1 year later. The same companies who were failing put their robots on stage, performing aerial flips and coordinated weapon routines, executing choreography tight enough that missing a single beat would have been immediately obvious to the largest television audience on the planet. People should be taking these robots quite seriously now. Journalists all over the world described this year as the robotics year, and these robots were more lean, fluid, and capable compared to the previous generations. The exact words were that as we watched them push the physical boundaries humans are capable of, it becomes apparent that they can achieve human-level actions and eventually superhuman-level performances. This is not a marketing statement. In China, it is already happening across various industries, factories, homes, and even in sports. Firms like SemiAnalysis have done deep-level research on this too. Their job is to look past choreography and assess whether the underlying engineering actually justifies the reaction. And in this case, the assessment showed that it really does. Manufacturing lead by numbers. This is where the story moves from the impressive stage performance into something with real economic benefits. Behind it, the viral clip is interesting, but manufacturing data is what actually determines who wins the race. Barclay's data shows that of roughly 15,000 humanoid robot installations worldwide in 2025, it was the Chinese humanoids that accounted for more than 85%. The United States accounted for just 13%. That is a marginal lead that blows the American tech industry out of proportion. China is producing and deploying humanoid robots at roughly 6 times the rate of the United States in the same calendar year, and that gap didn't happen by accident. The core reason behind this gap is that China has built a nearly vertically integrated robotic supply chain, meaning that the entire production pipeline sits inside the country's own borders. This includes rare earth metals, high-performance magnets built from those materials, physical robot components, and the batteries that power them. When every piece of that chain exists domestically, you eliminate all the delays, import costs, and supply bottlenecks that competitors elsewhere have to deal with. Think about what that actually means for a second. A US or European robotics company building a humanoid robot has to source rare metal magnets from overseas, wait on shipping timelines, absorb tariffs or import costs, and then coordinate across different international suppliers just to get the new components needed for a single robot. The Chinese manufacturer can source nearly everything domestically, from raw material extraction all the way to the final battery pack. This is the difference between a supply chain measured in weeks versus one measured in months, and at that scale, the difference compounds into a massive cost reduction and ultimately an economic benefit. Unitree is the biggest example of a company capitalizing on that advantage right now. Their robots were front and center at the Spring Festival Gala, and the company's CEO told local media just before the broadcast ended that Unitree expects to ship between 1,000 and 2,000 units in 2026 alone. That is definitely not a projection pulled from a pitch deck. It's a shipment target for a company that already has a functioning factory line and existing customer relationships in place to support it. Before we get further into the pricing gap and what this means for Tesla specifically, a quick note. I'm running a $100 Amazon gift card giveaway once this channel reaches 1,000 subscribers. No action is required to enter. I'll randomly pick a winner the moment we hit that number. If you want to follow along and see who wins, go ahead and subscribe now. Back to the topic at hand now. The price gap. Manufacturing scale is only half the gain. The other half is price, and this is where the gap between China and everyone else becomes stark. Scale without affordability doesn't translate into market dominance. Unitree advertises a base price of $13,500 for its G1 humanoid robot. This is a publicly listed, purchasable price point right now, not a future projection or a model yet to be released. Unitree is consistently hitting future production milestones, so you can look at that number today and know the actual product is available at that cost. Compare that to Tesla's Optimus, which Elon Musk mentioned in a recent earnings call could fall below $20,000, but only if Tesla reaches an annual output of 1 million units sold. Final consumer pricing still depends on market demand beyond that. In other words, Tesla's optimistic price tag sits above where Unitree is already today, and Tesla's number is conditional on hitting a production milestone it hasn't reached yet. That's a huge distinction. One number is a live market price, while the other is a hypothetical floor tied to a manufacturing scale that doesn't exist yet. China's manufacturing advantage, combined with substantial government support, has allowed Chinese robotics producers to manufacture at prices significantly lower than their competitors elsewhere in the world. Government support matters here too. It's not just private capital chasing market opportunity. Robotics has been identified as a strategic priority at a national level in China. This means subsidies, infrastructure, investments, and coordinated industry policies are all working in the same direction to boost robotic production in the country. Analysts predict U.S. humanoid manufacturers will ramp up production this year, but the consensus among those tracking this space is not optimistic about closing the gap quickly. Other markets that will ramp up will likely lag due to China's already established supply chains and production scale. China is likely to maintain a multi-year structural advantage based on rare earth access, vertically integrated manufacturing, and government-backed scaling, which is very difficult to replicate from outside the country. You cannot simply announce a competing factory and expect to match a supply chain that took years to build domestically from raw materials. What this actually proves: the kung fu routines, gymnastic displays, and the crazy robot marathon are impressive, but they aren't the full measure of what matters economically. It's tempting to watch a robot land a backflip and assume that's the finish line, but it isn't. The enhanced dexterity shown in routines like aerial flips and coordinated weapon handling signals strong potential for economic impact in the future. This dexterity can be used in physically demanding tasks that require delicate tool handling and precise movements. Coordinating that level of balance, timing, and joint control across multiple robots simultaneously is a genuinely hard engineering problem. Solving it publicly on live television is a legitimate demonstration of the robot's capability. There is no hiding a mechanical failure during a live broadcast watched by hundreds of millions of people, which is exactly why this demonstration carries real weight rather than reading as pure spectacle. These robots still need to prove reliability in a structured human-centric environment. In many ways, they already are. Companies like UBTech are already deploying their robots in factories, where they are now working instead of humans in parts handling and other complex tasks. They are also making sure to change their batteries with zero downtime, as shown in their demonstrations. Every movement has been practiced repeatedly, timed to the beat, and rehearsed. The studio is a flat, predictable stage surface, which is fundamentally different from a robot walking into an unpredictable home environment, navigating around furniture nobody warned it about, picking up an object it has never encountered before, and adapting to whatever it actually finds in real time. This is the gap between a demo and a product. Plenty of technologies have looked incredible in a rehearsed demonstration, and then struggled enormously once they were deployed into a messy, unpredictable real-world setting. The real test for humanoid robots isn't the stage. It is in the living room, warehouse floors, outside the hospital, and in environments that don't rehearse their obstacles in advance. Wait, you're watching right now but not subscribed to the channel? Go ahead and smash that subscribe button so we can move on with the video. You did? Okay, cool. Now back to the story about this unbelievable speed at which China is closing the robotics gap. Why the AI model matters most. This is the point that separates surface-level coverage of this story from the part that actually determines the outcome of the US-China robotics war. It goes beyond most viral clips. The AI model race is still undecided and will be the defining factor in the end. A robot is only as useful as its underlying model. A robot with 22 degrees of freedom in its hands and flawless mechanical engineering is still limited by how well its onboard AI can process sensory data, make decisions, and execute multi-step tasks without human intervention. You can build the most mechanically sophisticated hands on the planet, but if the software controlling them cannot reliably identify what it's touching and decide how to handle it, all that mechanical engineering could go to waste. First, the capabilities that matter most going forward include the AI model and the AI chip itself. This is where Tesla still has somewhat of an advantage because their processors can go on par with NVIDIA's best systems as long as it's working within Tesla's operations. This is where a large amount of actual economic value lies and is improving steadily. This is a very different framing than simply asking which country's robots look most impressive on stage. It refines the entire competition. Manufacturing scale determines who can build the most robots, the fastest, and the cheapest. AI model quality determines whose robots are actually worth deploying at scale in the first place. China currently has a commanding lead in the first category. The second category remains genuinely open and is the one that ultimately decides whether cheap, plentiful robots translate into real economic transformation or just an oversupply of hardware still waiting on the software to catch up. Now we ask you the final question: who do you think wins the robotics race in the next 18 months? Let us know in the comments below, and subscribe today if you want to see who holds the future of robotics innovation. See you next time.